Welcome to another episode of Gemstones and Whiskey, an Outlander podcast. I'm Reena Ezra.
I'm Ashley Alexandra.
And we are watching episode 5, Rent. We're going to start after the intro right now. Claire's in thought.
In that fabulous coat.
She's just staring off into the... was this green screen or is this real?
No, that's real, I think. Because they filmed it in Scotland. Like, they're out in the rain and
the mountains and that water. Oh, yeah, we got our first introduction.
I love him. Wait, I can't remember his name. Oh, no.
We'll check for it.
What? Please.
He's the Reverend?
No, he's the lawyer. Hold on, one moment, please.
Oh, yeah, he's one of those guys. He's such an adorable old chap. So they're obviously on the road. Remember, it's called Rent, the episode. They're collecting everybody's rent. Going around and getting coins from the people, going bar to bar. People are just wrestling in the woods. It's definitely seems like a fun, good old time. But yeah, the lawyer definitely, again, just another, I feel like she's in a video game, Claire, and she's on that quest journey, and she comes across those different characters that give her,
Ned Gowan.
Pieces of information. What is it?
Yes.
Who is it? What's his name?
Ned Gowan.
Ned Gowan.
How could I forget?
Oh, yeah, Ned Gowan, yep.
Fan favorite. Wow. Thanks, subtitles.
Yeah. Yeah, he handles, what did he say? All the Dougal records, their receipts.
Yes. So he, handles the books, essentially.
It was, receipts from Nordstrom and J. Crew. I do all their personal taxes. Yeah. I do love, though, with traveling in that time period where they have, their paper and their quill pen and their ink and their little satchel. It just looks so cool.
It's quaint. It's charming. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's not convenient.
You spill your ink, that's it.
Right?
That's it.
You're like, well, sorry, we'll come back in 1 month.
But they don't have the same trouble with, if you dipped your quill in ink and you're writing on something on a wall vertically, it doesn't run out. You know how
drips.
It does drip. Yeah.
So it's the opposite problem.
Yeah.
Whereas modern day pens don't write, but a quill would just drip all the way down a wall.
You're right. And then you gotta keep dipping it.
Yeah. Someone has to stand there unless there's a shelf. Is there a shelf involved? No. So Ned was just coughing up a lung, and Claire's like, "Hold up, I have a pipe for you. A little bit of thorn apple.
It just looks like marijuana.
Literally, I'm gonna stick this in your pipe, and you smoke it.
And it helps his lungs.
Yeah. So he, I think essentially has
weed. Asthma.
Yes, has asthma.
Oh, it relieves his symptoms of asthma. Oh my god,
yeah, isn't that
cute.
so nice? Because he's like, it's always this time of year when it's cold, and she's like, yeah, it's called asthma.
It's his version of an inhaler.
Yeah, look how cute he is with his little bow in his hair.
So cute.
And his little tiny glasses.
Yeah, so adorable. Yeah, look at that mountain shot.
So beautiful. And apparently the weather's so unpredictable in Scotland. I'm
sure their schedule to shoot was probably hectic at times.
Well, I think they just shoot. They've kind of accepted that, what it is. It is what it is. They want to shoot outside as much as possible.
True, obviously they have, expensive equipment, but the protective gear, for that equipment, you know?
Yeah.
I'm always oh my god, how does somebody film in the rain?
Yeah, and, the actors are literally out there in their, woolen costumes, getting soaking wet.
Yeah.
And then apparently it can also get very hot. Extremely hot during their summers. Which I guess...
So it's New Jersey.
Exactly. Nailed it.
Okay, great. Now I don't have to go to Scotland. It's just like here.
So Claire is clearly enjoying talking to Ned Gowan.
I'm with someone finally a little more civilized. Like
seem to
decent
get
conversation.
along.
Yeah.
I think she knows though that she can't like fully trust him. Like he is still their lawyer for the Mackenzies. But I think it's just nice to have a different kind of conversation with someone. And he's a little bit older and probably maybe reminds her a bit of her uncle or something. That's just my...
I get that.
Imagination.
Yeah.
You know, he brings a different vibe.
No, certainly.
All the men are sitting around the fire. And Claire's by herself on a log.
Always thinking and pondering. Let loose, Claire. Just enjoy it. Eat the beans.
Well, I think they're probably telling some...
Well, yeah, no, of course. It's...
This is like locker room talk, but it's campfire talk.
Yeah. Sexual and has to do with women. Oh my god, like Dougal Mackenzie probably just gets such a kick out of himself.
Yeah.
Is that a squirrel?
Yeah,
no, it's a rabbit.
Whatever, I don't know what it is. Hey, you know rabbit doesn't have...
Gotta eat it.
Has like no protein in it. Or like not enough to survive on.
But that's what they're eating.
I know. I forgot who told me that. It was a recent conversation and they were like, yeah, you can't survive on rabbit. So like, you have to be mixing it with other
Good
sources.
thing I never thought of doing that. There was one time, I don't know where or what grocery store they got it from. My parents got rabbit and it was in the freezer. Like it was actually, obviously it was like skinned, didn't have anything, whatever. Like it was, yeah, no, they didn't like, it wasn't like roadkill or they didn't like kill it.
No, but I didn't know if it was like...
It was like frozen meat. It was just like how you get like, you know, your steak or your beef, whatever cut up. But like it was the body of a rabbit. Like you could see the top, like,
no,
it's not a head.
Mm-hmm. Like,
no. So in the freezer, and I asked if we could eat it for dinner for Easter. We didn't.
Oh.
That makes me really uncomfortable.
That story really went somewhere.
That's it. You should know by now. My stories are just...
Did you ever eat it? Now I want to know.
No, I think we did actually, but I don't think it
but not for Easter.
It had a very different taste. Yeah, for some reason, right? Like my parents,
an Easter
my
bunny
parents
reference.
are gonna buy a bunny, but then they got mad when I asked if we could eat it for Easter, and my mom's like, "No, we can't do that." Of course, I'm like, first of all, we're Jewish, like this. But like also like you're the ones who got it. Nobody asked you to get this thing. I wouldn't eat it.
What's the weirdest
animal I've eaten?
Yeah.
Most exotic animal or the weirdest?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, probably just frog legs. My sister has definitely had. She's had ostrich before. She's also had frog legs. She's had. She got beef jerky that was kangaroo. Yeah.
So kangaroo jerky.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You're right. I said beef jerky.
Yeah. I was
Thank you for correcting that. I did not catch that. Yes, kangaroo jerky. So she's definitely tasted some more exotic stuff.
That's interesting.
I don't know if what about you?
How were the frog legs? I've never had
Good.
them.
No, they're good. It was at a Lebanese restaurant in Clifton at Laziza. Oh, so yummy.
Does it taste more like a poultry or more like fish? Or
it tasted more like poultry.
Okay.
Less than fish.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's kind of like, because I think how they breaded it and fried it was kind of like a chicken wing. It was good.
Yum.
Yeah.
I've had, I had turtle soup, which
yes, my sister
is a reference to a future episode. Just saying.
What did that taste like?
I remember thinking it tasted like erasers, so I don't think it was good turtle soup. It was very, I don't know.
I love how
Chewy,
you've never eaten
guess?
an eraser before.
No, but if I had to
know
imagine
what
the texture.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And I also had alligator. But same thing, it was like fried. So
I've had alligator jerky. It was just very tough. It was very... I didn't like it. Did not like it. Yeah, you know they have a roadkill convention where you actually go and eat food that people cook that were roadkill.
Okay, they who?
I don't know.
This?
Whatever. This is some sort of association. Roadkill
I
association.
don't want to associate with them.
East
no,
Coast.
ma'am.
No, it's a real thing. Yeah.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah, I haven't done it. Mainly, the thing would be, like, how do you make it sanitary? The sanitary thing. Also, it's been out for who knows how long.
I don't like
it's not.
it.
Yeah,
Nope.
you know, it's not.
No, ma'am.
You know what's weird though is that it's become so normal for us to just see dead deer around. Also, us be a lot closer with. Just animals in general. I guess because like the pandemic or something, like people being more like. Or people moving out more into the woods also, but like growing up in Mahwah, that's North Jersey, one of the northmost tip in Bergen County, and they're just like there's just like you see coyotes and bears and deer, like they're like always around us, but it's just weird that we just see so many of them dead on the highway.
Yeah, it is strange. I think it's also strange when, like, there's just a giant blood stain on the road for, like, weeks after, you know? And if it's, like, on your daily commute, you're like...
Oh, no!
Just
Ashley,
passing a big bloody scene.
Yeah.
That's odd. I remember, because I grew up, I had woods in my backyard, so, like, I've seen tons of deer.
Yeah.
And I was in... one of my first classes in college, and there were these big windows, and the teacher was lecturing, and all of a sudden a kid just went, "Oh, it's a deer!" And like kids whipped their heads around because they had never seen deer.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm confused.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about the fact like there's people from all over, like from the city, from... You know.
When I went to Israel for Birthright, there's a girl there who's never seen a squirrel before.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then we were telling her about the cool squirrels in Canada, because they're black squirrels. But she's never... So when she came to New York City, first time she saw a squirrel, she was so excited.
Where was she from?
Israel.
Okay.
There are no squirrels in Israel.
Wow.
So when she came to New York City, and then she saw it for the first time, because I was just like, that's so great. I was just like, you take like such enjoyment in that, and then like we're just so used to seeing that chipmunks. And
do they have a squirrel equivalent in Israel?
That's a good question. I'd have to look that up.
Well, I just know they have a lot of that's like prevalent.
Stray dogs and stray cats, but I don't know.
Also, would you walk wool? Walking wool, which is what Claire's doing with all these women, where you slam wool against a table after it's been covered in, this is a direct quote, hot piss. Would you do that?
Would I do it if I was welcomed into someone's home and there were all these women and this was the thing that they did do and I had to be respectful? Yeah, I would do it. Yeah, I would.
If you had to be respectful, you would do it.
I would probably also just do it to say, like, yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm not gonna... I mean, I guess I could do that here.
Are you inviting me?
Yeah, do you want to do it?
To walk wool with you?
We have to each pee in a bucket. It's their own pee, right? They pee themselves, and then
I'm sure
they use the hot
probably the
piss,
whole village.
And then, and they put it in the... Would you do it?
Here's the thing. My first response was... Absolutely not. Like, I wouldn't even accept money to do it. Oh, and Claire is adding to the pee bucket.
You've got to. She's got to.
The thing is...
And right when she's about to do it, someone busts in.
Now that COVID has taken the majority of my smell from me, and so now that my sense of smell is not very strong, I think I could survive it.
I would really rather not. Like, I would strongly prefer not to. Like, not even for the story. I don't need to say I've...
Yeah, you know, that's true.
I've walked.
That's true. It is. The more I think about it, the nastier it is.
Yeah. I do like Claire's jacket here, or whatever. I don't know what it's called.
That's a go-to. I feel like she wears this one often. This is definitely a key outfit. Mm-hmm.
And I like the elbow.
I totally agree.
Detail.
So yeah, this is also where like Claire's always thinking about other people and being of service to other people, and they're fighting over this goat that obviously the Mackenzies are trying to take back. It's theirs, it belongs to them, but she's trying to get goat's milk because there's an infant in one of the huts to feed the kid.
I think, and this is classic Claire, I think it's like this idea of righteousness, but like she works in sometimes a little bit of like a microscope, right? Like tunnel vision, like she's looking at that specific instance, and I understand why she would say, here's the solution to that problem, and this is what's fair, but she is notorious for not taking into account like the larger picture or how things connect to each other.
Yes, for sure.
Also, this is the part that I always thought was a little
off,
strange.
Really? The other British guy?
Yeah, so this is a British soldier who like interrupts because Dougal's like, you're not taking the goat, and is like yelling at her. And this British soldier is like, hey, do you need help? But he doesn't say he's a British soldier.
Well,
right?
he doesn't need to. I think it's exactly. I think it was purely just the accent thing. Because again, that really divided people, the land, nation, whatever. Back then, there weren't people mixed together. There's a bunch of Scots around a British woman.
I guess.
And he's a British guy trying to be.
But I'm very confused because he's not dressed in uniform, and he is dressed as though he has a role within this village. Well, there it is. I guess maybe.
Maybe he is doing stuff in this, because they obviously have soldiers planted in certain areas of Scotland, right? Because they.
Well, and I know that they
UK
stop in, and sometimes it's the same way.
Exactly, they come, check in, take their shit, whatever they take.
In certain neighborhoods now, anyway, where you're out meeting the people, you become familiar with each other, and. I think I missed that little end part where you put the jacket on, and so I just was very confused.
Yeah, but I think it's a Brit.
It's
a Brit doing his surveillance, kind of like policing the area, and obviously, because like the Scots are, wild. They're a bunch of wild. These guys are a bunch of
wild and crazy
guys. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely also took it as like the accent is such a special thing. Yeah. She is the only Brit in that group.
Yeah. And
he's the only British there, so you just feel like, oh, I gotta help another one out, and we're kind of
absolutely,
Yeah, this also what Dougal Mackenzie does as far as what would you say, like, uses Jamie as an exhibit, or as, how would you...
Well, let's back up even further. He's using his assignment to collect rent to also inspire and motivate people to contribute to the uprising.
Yes. Yeah, rally people together, spreading ideology against the British. Yeah.
He's, he has a second agenda here.
Yeah.
And yes, in order to do that, he's also exploiting Jamie's back.
So did Jamie know of his second agenda? Like, it didn't seem, obviously he knew he was going to rip his shirt off and show his scars.
I don't know. Yes, I would say that he knew.
Claire obviously was like, oh my god, you were just humiliated.
I would say that he probably knew of Dougal's support of the uprising.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe heard whispers of it, or there's been other instances where he's
been
picked
aware.
up on
sure.
it. I don't know if he.
But I don't think he
knew
knew
that he was gonna rip his
as an
shirt
example.
off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. to play at people's, basically it's because you're playing at people's emotions and being like, oh, but you know, and then that's how people were giving more of their money.
And he misogynistically says, "Hey Claire, you can sew up Jamie's shirt," and she said, "Excuse me?"
Yeah. Imagine she has all these skills, but she doesn't know how to sew. I'm just kidding. That'd be bad because she has to sew up wounds.
Yeah.
So she doesn't know how to sew.
She can figure it out.
Yeah. And Jimmy's like, I'll do it. It's my shirt. It's my back. Yeah. Yeah, again, I'm not really, like, I'm not turned off by his back at all.
Not one bit.
No. God, look at her hair.
Best hair. I think this one's a wig, it looks like, if I had to guess.
Okay. Still nice.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to know what that is that Claire's eating.
Would you eat
Rocky
bull's
Mountain
testicles?
oysters.
Oh.
That's what they are.
Bull's testicles?
They're
or
called-
Rocky Mountain oysters? That's what they're called?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Why are they called that? What?
I don't know.
Learn something new every day.
Would I, again, I think again, COVID also took
Taste away, yeah.
a portion of my taste away from me, so I probably could. I don't want to. I have no desire to.
You think
How
it's
do you
crunchy?
feel about balls? We can save that for the Patreon.
Well, what kind of balls? What do you mean? Like balls in general? You mean like any testicles?
Testicles is what I meant.
I
Thanks for making me say it out loud.
You started the question. No, straight up answer. I don't think they're that cool, but I get that they play a part and they're necessary. So
yeah,
I'm gonna say
they're
I
not
don't.
cool.
Yeah.
Like I can say for certainty.
Like
They're
I don't value them the same as a dick.
Correct.
Like, as a penis. Like, right? It doesn't. Testicles don't do anything for me.
I
They're just
accept
there.
them.
Like they're just hang. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? Like they're like definitely. Of course, if like also, I'm gonna need them if I'm gonna create offspring.
Mm-hmm.
They're very necessary. We need to have really that's
Yeah.
You need those good swimmers.
Anyway, there's no good segue out of that. Claire is at the river complaining once again.
She still got her wedding ring. She still kept that on.
Yeah. Well, again, I think in this moment, obviously she's like, I don't even know what's happening right now, but I don't think she's fully given up hope of at some point having an opportunity to get back to the Scots. I don't think she's given in yet to be like,
no, I agree. I just
this
definitely
is my home now.
feel like she's just going through the motions right now. Because what is she doing right now? She was supposed to be a medic and they're on the road and they're supposed to be collecting stuff. Also, she's definitely had enough to distract her from thinking about her husband in the 40s. There's just been so much going on that she's had to just pay attention to, and she's been less in her own head. For this episode also, it's been less narrative for sure, because there's just been so much more. Like right now, are people, what is this? There's a fire in their houses and people are being raided right now? People are taking their stuff?
Yeah.
Are these other Scotsmen, or these are definitely not British?
No,
these
I
are just
think
criminals.
So I think they're of Scottish. Or no, they're the people who used to be a part of the British Army and deserted. Is that who they are? Like the ones who kind of just
taken their chickens. No, they're definitely Scots. They were Scots who I think are now working for the Brits. I think they're traitors, but they're criminals. Oh no, wait, I'm so confused. It's been a while since I've seen this episode. They'll explain. We'll get y'all caught up. That stings. Their entire house was burnt. Where's Jamie? Gosh, she's so important. Oh yeah, Jamie had to make himself scarce because if these people are tied to the British, obviously, again, he's got a number on his head. And he can't be caught. So yeah, I think those were definitely Scotsmen that are now doing bidding for the British. There were we see more of those people later on where there's Scotsmen who went to the other side. And it's just very interesting.
That chicken looks really good.
It does. That does look
For
good.
being cooked over a fire, look how good that looks.
It's really scrumptious. Oh my god, Claire, eat that. She's not hungry? That's the only one that looks good.
Claire.
This is how she's so
righteous. You're so right. I would never in my life would I be like, no, thank you.
Yeah. Like, although, if you think about it, if we were back in this time, though, we would probably lose a lot of weight just because we're not eating the same amount or the same time of days that we would be eating.
Absolutely. But we'd also probably have, like, vitamin deficiencies.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. I'd be like, oh my god, I'm so thin, but I'm, like, fainting.
I'm so tired.
But I'm, like, so thin.
But I look like, so good lying down, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, that's not okay, people. You should have a healthy body weight. Oh my god. And then she just, like, runs off.
Like a little child.
And,
I'm gonna sit on this rock.
Yeah, no, she does throw her tantrums.
I wonder if the food was good. Like, not obviously campfire food.
Oh, we've talked about this, right? In earlier episodes? Yeah. Like, that they're obviously not crazy with spice, but you have probably
herbs
the freshest and well, they did. They had a garden, yeah. I know. They did. They had a lot of that stuff. Oh my god, I have like an little herb shelf plant, like it has a light and everything here. And this basil, it's Thai basil, and there's a Genesee or a different kind of basil. Yeah. It is super potent. The smell and the taste, oof. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love it because it's not the same when you get herbs from a grocery store. Yeah. And then like I would just get fresh stuff from a market because I want to get stuff locally. Yep. I want to get those local goods.
I know.
Support those local businesses, people. Yes. If you're listening to this. PSA.
Hit up those farmer markets.
So we are now at a different shelter, different location. They're at a different stop.
Village or
next village over.
Whatever. And they've been hit hard because the British Army came through like the week before or whatever and took a lot of what they had.
Yeah, like at that point, it's like, what are you keeping for yourself? You got to give it to the Scotsmen. You got to give it to the British. Yeah.
Well, and even the British too. Like they're changing the rules all the time. So like they're just showing up and they're like, give us.
There are no
twice
rules.
What you gave us last week.
Yeah, they're just doing
what?
Yeah, they're just doing their own thing. Yes. Yeah.
I must say I really like the Mackenzie tartan. The brown and blue.
Yeah, no, it's really...
I love that color combo.
It's a solid look, for sure, yeah.
I think it's supposed to be red in the books, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But, in this instance, Dougal Mackenzie takes it easy on this guy.
Yes,
does he not?
On this whole village. Yeah. He actually invites them all to eat using some of the livestock that they've accumulated from the other villages.
Because they basically had empty pockets for him.
And that's where Claire's like,
yeah, he was like, he's giving stuff back to them. Like,
They're not all bad.
So their families have stuff to eat, but, yeah. Because I don't know, I just thought that was a very thoughtful and nice thing for him to do, and a little unexpected. I honestly thought he was just going to keep collecting and keep being an asshole.
Well, and of course Claire's first response is like, you're only doing this so that they'll give you money tonight.
Well, yeah, he always has a different kind of motivation, I guess. Dougal, you think Dougal's always just thinking of himself and his own journey or path, or anybody who is with him, he's just using to get wherever he needs to get to, or get whatever he needs to get?
I think
they're
Dougal
just serving a purpose.
Places his priorities over anyone else's. So I do think it's not necessarily like him. Like, I don't think he necessarily, like, he's not necessarily trying to, like, get to the top of a structure or, like, or system or whatever. He's not trying to, like, get the glory or anything like that. But I think whatever he feels is important and is a priority, he will, uphold that without question and without a second thought to anyone else's feelings or needs or whatever else. What he deems important is what's important in his eyes. And it's all that matters, I think.
Very well said. I agree with that.
I think even supporting the uprising, like, his priority is Scotland and, like, restoring and maintaining the Highlands and the clans, and returning a Scot to the throne.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily about him, right? Like, I think there's other characters who would be as, like, fierce or passionate for their own accomplishment, but that's not necessarily the case.
I see what you're saying.
This is a flashback to a conversation with Claire and Frank about the Jacobite rising. Claire's having a little vision back to, what information Frank shared with her in the context that he provided.
Yeah, she's pulling from those memories. Memories are a great, wonderful thing for you to just think back on to get some sort of information that helps her. I don't know, because all of this stuff is so political that she has to, like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know, I still respect how she was able to, like, navigate so many situations. Oh my gosh, and so many things to come. But, yeah. Oh, what is the... Gosh, I love rewatching stuff sometimes because I honestly do not remember certain things that happen, so then I'm, like, spooked and surprised when new stuff occurs. I'm like, oh!
Yeah. So it seems like Jamie's kind of like, hey man, does Colin know what you're doing? Like, this is getting serious. Like, you're really... Like, these actions are substantial because, again, Colin is a laird and he is not supporting the uprising. He's trying to kind of make do and maintain their traditions as best as possible within the current structure, not putting his men in danger, because he doesn't feel like those who would initiate an uprising would win against the British Army. So obviously Dougal's going behind Colum's back, and Jamie's like, interesting.
Yeah. And Jamie's like, I don't want to get stuck in the middle of all this shit.
And now he's punching a tree.
Oh my god, that must hurt. Why is he doing that? You've tried punching a tree before?
I have not, no.
That just doesn't seem... You know, like people that just punch a wall?
Yeah.
It's like, that's a wall.
It's called anger issues.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it's sheetrock, like, okay, maybe that's not as bad, but it's still like...
Do you ever watch Jersey Shore?
Yeah, I've seen pieces of it. I did not watch a lot.
Mike the Situation just rammed his head directly into a concrete wall.
Oh my god.
In Italy.
Oh my god. It's concrete.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, of course he could. Yeah, you were all about reality TV shows.
I used to watch, so I wasn't, and then I got into the Housewives. That was my thing. Like Bravo. TV shows for a while.
All that, yeah.
I have to tell you, I don't know why, but when everything shut down last year, I just stopped watching Bravo. Which, like, you think would be the time that I would watch more Bravo.
Actually, no, because did it make you too anxious? Did it make you too crazy?
Like, stuff doesn't matter. They're just fighting about stuff that does not matter.
Definitely during the pandemic, I wanted to just watch happy things.
Yeah.
Exactly, yes. Things that were just, like, uplifting, positive. A lot of comedies, like, new things that made me laugh. I need fluff TV sometimes. I need some, like, this just makes me feel good.
Schitt's Creek, and it was, like, the best.
I couldn't get into that. Could not get into it.
How hard did you try?
I gave up in the first episode. I didn't even watch the first episode. I, like, watched half of it. Maybe, yeah.
I liked it a lot.
And then it just wasn't funny. Like Big Bang Theory. Not funny.
I think it's way better than Big Bang Theory. Because I agree, not that funny.
Yeah, I don't know how that show is still on.
Is it still on?
I don't know.
Oh, it probably is.
It just exists. Why does it exist? That's my question. Like,
yeah.
Like it's like Big Bang Theory. The show is like actually the Big Bang. Like, oh, it happened.
Right.
You know. Except I remember
and
what happened.
Still keep talking about it.
Yeah, and I haven't even watched it. But like the only difference is we don't know what happened before the Big Bang. I know what happened before that show occurred.
True.
You know.
Yeah.
That's I guess a difference.
Yeah.
Anyway, sidetracked as always. But anyway, Schitt's Creek. Maybe I'll give it another go.
I really. Oh. Okay.
No, just kidding.
Wait, you know what I started watching like during bedtime, like just the past few days.
I love how you phrase it.
Yeah.
During bedtime.
Guess.
When's your bedtime?
No. What I've been watching.
I want to hear Outlander.
No.
Oh my gosh! I don't. Oh. Gosh, we're gonna talk about this later.
Yes.
Is it a comedy? Should I know
comedy.
it?
No, just like take a guess and then I'll tell you what it is.
Is it at The Office?
No.
Oh.
It's The Nanny.
Oh wow.
I watched it like when it was on originally and I
Yeah.
really liked it. You don't like it? You never watched it? It's a really
No, I don't have a problem with it at all. I definitely have not watched it a lot, but I definitely
It's a really
know
nice
what you're talking
like
about. Yeah.
before bed thing, like just easy to put on, and she's great.
Yeah.
And the writing is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like it is
I definitely
solid.
Didn't have a problem with that show.
I'm
Where
only-
is that? Where's that stream? What is it on?
HBO Max maybe?
Wow. Okay.
I'll figure it out and let you know. Anyway, so here they came across, they're on their way back home, and they came across two Scotsmen who are hung up on these essentially wooden crosses, who are deceased.
The British made a statement out of them, basically. So that's not cool. So now Dougal Mackenzie's real riled up.
Now Dougal Mackenzie doesn't need Jamie's back because he has these two men, for example.
Yeah. Traveling to the next village, collecting more of that dough. Yeah, he's Dougal Mackenzie also just gives me, he's a complex character, but he's just, he gives me like those, just a lot of hurt. He just gives me those vibes where like he's probably seen a lot of bad shit, been through a lot of bad shit, but also just like feels sorry for himself a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And then takes it out on like with aggression, obviously. Because he's just like such a burly man, but such a little baby at the same time.
Yes.
You know?
It's very spot on.
Any
psychologist would agree with
you. Yeah. Mommy issues. No, we don't know. We don't know about any of their moms. Yeah, I think that's definitely an attractive thing. For me with a man though is when you can be vulnerable and sensitive outward toward a woman or your partner, whatever, like whoever you confide in, but like because Dougal Mackenzie keeps it so wrapped up, like you obviously always have to be tight. Yeah, exactly, you got to be like present that you're this strong man, whatever, and it's just like,
and you have to assert your dominance.
Yeah, like don't be macho in front of me. I don't like it. That's not always appealing. Don't be. I don't need that. I can hold my own.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
So Claire heard some rustling outside of her. They're in this tavern overnight.
Yeah, in the middle of the night.
And she got the bedroom upstairs because she's a woman, and she heard some scuffling around outside her door, so she's about to open it and hit whoever it is with candlestick, and it's Jamie.
Also, why does she get a room with a bed?
Because she's a girl.
Oh. So he used to sleep outside?
Well, no, he's doing it to be nice because there's a tavern full of drunk men downstairs. So he chose to come up here and sleep outside her room to protect her.
He literally like a dog.
I know, but Claire does say, but also, are you trying to hide? And he's like, well, yeah, that too a little bit. But he's just sleeping outside, and she's like, well, you can come. I was like, love this. She's like, you can't sleep out here on the floor. I insist that you come inside and sleep where it's warmer. And he's like, in your bed. She's like, I mean, you can like sleep on the floor in here. And he's like, what will everyone think? And she's like,
your reputation will be ruined.
She's like, I don't care. And he's like, no, I can't.
He's like, so sunny.
I at least take a blanket. They're flirting. This is flirting. He's like, yeah, right, I'll take your blanket.
It'd be so funny to see him on a dating app, and like it's one, he doesn't know what Tinder is, and Tinder's just for hookups, and he goes to his own, he's just like,
right.
What? I thought we were going out to dinner.
Your reputation.
Yeah. No, come in my room. Oh, no, I can't.
Also, like, I still would be like, if we ended up in a relationship together eventually, I would still be like, do you like me?
Yeah.
Like, I slept outside your room with nothing more than a blanket. Of course I like you. And I'll be like,
yeah.
Okay, are you sure? He's like, I've literally killed men for you. And I'm like,
yeah, but
okay,
still.
but like really?
Like, really like
Like, are you just being nice, or do you, like, actually like me? But do you think I'm beautiful?
Yes, I killed those two men just to be nice. That's so funny. No.
Cute little morning greeting, because they both know what he did.
Time to get breakfast. What's that? Oh, right. Also, love this scene. Which, when it pans out, obviously we will say more. But right now, they're just at a tavern, and there's two tables. One where a bunch of other rowdy Scots are saying things in Gaelic, so we don't know what they're saying. And then the other table of Mackenzie clan, their crew, sitting there, just, minding their own biz for now and eating their breakfast. Claire's talking to the lawyer, like about how she's picked up a little Gaelic here and there. But definitely it's just like, that's why I also love when a show has, you know, characters that speak in a different language. Because then it's just like, yes, because people in the room don't need to know what they're saying or don't know. Things can be revealed later because they don't understand it at the time, or things can be translated, blah, blah, blah. It's just the fun. It's another fun tool to play with. So, yeah.
And yes, the producers made a very specific choice not to subtitle Gaelic.
Yeah, which I love.
Yeah.
Which I love that they did that. Yeah. I thought that was a smart move.
So Claire essentially is like, Ned, level with me. Talk to me about this plan for the Jacobite Rising. And Ned's like, well, you know, here's what's going on. And Claire's like, you're not going to win. And Ned's like,
she knows
well, we'll
how
see. And she's like, no, you absolutely will not win. It's a doomed cause. You got to stop supporting this. Because there was a previous uprising that ended up...
Yeah, there were 4 uprisings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now now the Mackenzie people are like annoyed and angry, and then boom! Smacks his head into the table, and now they all start fighting. And now they're having a brawl in the tavern.
Good old tavern brawl.
Yeah, people being picked up, punched, smacked in the head with chairs. How that wood just easily breaks apart. So fun to do this. If I could, you know, do this scene in a movie and then you just slam someone, all the tables are like meant to be broken and you just like break and stuff and just, you know, slapping people and calling them bastard.
I took a stage combat class.
Ooh.
And it was so much fun. It was in college, I took 2 semesters of it. And the hand-to-hand combat is the best. It's the most fun. I know so many people like the weaponry, but I'm like, it's just fun to pretend to like...
Yeah, it sounds awesome. To be...
That's terrible.
Yeah. So, yeah, Claire finds out that the reason they were fighting them and beating them up is because those other mean Scots dudes were insulting Claire. They were talking about Claire, and they did that to defend her honor. How cute!
I know, but
see,
also
they traveled with each other.
They have anger issues, but yes.
Well, yeah, but still,
everybody won.
You want your crew to back you up to defend you if they're saying something. And also, she has not been with them that long, and it's ready for them to have her back.
A sign that she's
they're like, only
valued.
We can insult you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's valued. Yeah. So I just thought I like that little bit. Hand-to-hand combat. Who's like what? Do you remember any moves?
Yeah.
Do you like? Did you ever get like hit by an accident, or you had to do everything slow-mo at first?
Not hand to hand, but I got we did quarterstaff, which is like kind of like a big, I'm gonna say bamboo, I don't know if it's actually bamboo, but a big like bamboo staff essentially. And you had to be real careful because you hold it with your 2 hands on either end.
Like Mulan.
And you can very easily get your fingers cracked.
Ooh, yeah,
it's really bad. That happened. I don't think anything else. My pants ripped. That was fun. I like went down. There was a move where someone was supposed to like, I think we were maybe
kick
using
over your
a
head?
sword. Like swing the sword over my head, and I had to duck, and I like. I squatted down and then I like immediately popped up because I like heard it and felt it, and I was like,
classic.
Please.
So did you just go the rest of your day with ripped jeans?
No. So my friend, who was my like fighting partner, I was like, you need to come stand behind me right now, and he was like, what? And I was like, just stand behind me and walk with me to the bathroom, and then take my car key, and I have like a pair of sweatpants or whatever in my trunk.
Yay!
Like, go find them. because I was, not literally the whole back of my pants.
But how great! You just had an extra pair in your car. How lucky! How
I mean, like
good job,
commuter.
Ashley. Yeah.
I had everything
car loaded
in my car.
Yo, I totally get that commuter life.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is another flashback Claire is having to her and Frank at the battlefield of Culloden, where they have the basically like mass grave site. So these boulders with the clan names representing all of the members who passed in the battle. And
that's tough. She's traveling with a clan that she knows is eventually going to die because she just knows the future history.
3 years from then. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy. She's looking at everyone like, wow. Because
I know, because she's already gone like such a close to them and a bond and
And the battle is known for essentially just being like a mass slaughter. Like very few people ended up living. Very few Scots.
Which, like, that happens a few years from now, so, like, she still thinks she's gonna be around then? She still thinks she's gonna be here?
I don't know. I think it's just that weird thing. Like, imagine if someone that you spent... I mean, at this point, I wonder how long it's been. Maybe... What do you think? Like 2 or 3 months?
Yeah, maybe? I would say a few months,
people that you've spent a few months with, just like knowing that they're going to die in 3 years. Like, it's just such a weird feeling.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, Claire announces that she's going to go to the river to wash, and it's the first time that the men are like, okay, go ahead. Like, no one's gonna go with you. Mm-hmm. Like, we trust you, essentially. Mm-hmm. And Ned and Dougal are sitting down to talk about the 2 books that they've had to keep on this trip.
Yeah.
And the 2 sacks of money. And then Dougal appears out of nowhere to be like, alright, who are you, though? Like, your story is not adding up. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. I've had enough of this.
Mm-hmm.
What's your deal? Can we trust you?
Yeah, well,
that thinks she's a spy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first logical thing for you to think of.
Yeah.
You know? And of course, because he's trying to, like he said, rally up this whole revolution, basically. And she, he thinks she's gonna like spoil his plan.
Yeah.
And
here come the redcoat, the same guy who was in that village before.
Sent an army to help her.
And they're like, Madam, I'm gonna ask you again. Are you all right?
I would have been like, dude, I'm cool, bro. Yeah. Like, it wasn't necessary for you to bring all these guys.
Well, but here she is, like, having to revisit this conversation with Dougal. Yeah. Like, I'm not a spy.
Yeah. And this definitely doesn't look good.
No. And, like...
So what is he supposed to think? Yeah.
So, like...
Lieutenant Jeremy Foster.
Dougal's like, don't worry about it. He's like...
War Chief. What a great title. Dougal Mackenzie, War Chief.
Imagine, like, having a business card.
Yeah, that would look really cool.
With,
if
like,
it's
a
also the brown,
it's
that brown and gold and then their badge. Yeah. Yeah, also, though, she does, like, because he's asking, like, are you holding, this British woman against her will?
And so that's it. Episode 5.
Time for
the scoring section.
Alright, steaminess, plot, feminine power, costume, set, and cringe factor. You all know how this goes. Rank it with us if you're watching along, or just shout them out to yourself in your room. We'll pretend we can hear ya. Steaminess, yeah. Was it really steamy?
I'm gonna give it a 3 because I just love that Jamie
showed his back,
slept outside her door.
Oh.
And they had that whole little exchange where
Right,
she's
yeah.
like, you can come in, and he's like,
yeah.
No. She's like, will you take my blanket?
Yeah, no, that was cute. I honestly just want him to just do it already. Yeah, I just get too excited. Okay. I want to just see more of this book.
I understand. I know.
I just don't remember the first time around it taking this long, but I guess it's because we're recording it. When I first watched it, I binged it.
I know, same.
Yeah, I would also give it a 3.
Okay.
For that very reason. Plot, I'd probably give it around, I'm deciding if it's like a 3 or 4. Maybe a 3, just for like the two things. One, obviously the uprising that they're trying to gather people for, and then the way it just left off with the blue coats around her and him like facing her, like Dougal Mackenzie facing Claire again, being like, are you a spy, yada yada. But the whole bulk of this episode was them just on the road and traveling and just collecting other stuff. So there wasn't anything else additional than that for me. So yeah, I'll just give it a 3.
I also give it a 3 for those same reasons.
Great.
Feminine power. I feel like there wasn't really...
Wasn't much.
Was more kind of just a part of her circumstance.
Yeah.
I
was gonna give it a 1.
I'm thinking a 1 as well. Although, I'm gonna give it a 1.5 because they did get in a fight over her honor, which was like nice.
Oh, true.
Costumes and set, I didn't think anything
Kind of
was
bland, yeah.
that impressive.
Nothing
She still was in the coat.
Yeah.
But we've seen the coat now.
Yes. I was also going to give that a 1.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 1 as well.
Cringe factor, I didn't get a lot of cringe. I get if there was a cringe factor when he like ripped Jamie's shirt open to show his scars to the people. I definitely thought that was just weird because that's like using someone as a prop. And then I always find Dougal Mackenzie just such a cringe. Just in general. So he definitely just, puts the points up. So it would probably be a -2 for moi.
I'm giving it a -1. So altogether, I have a...
Oh yes, count.
7.5. Wow. I think that's my
6
score. Yeah.
I got a 6.
All right. Which is funny because I do also... No, maybe I don't enjoy this episode. I thought I did. It's not. Anyway,
It gets better, people. It gets better.
Yes. So altogether, it's I can't do math. It's a 13.5.
So thank you again for tuning into Gemstones and Whiskey and Outlander podcast. Stay tuned for more. Ashley, any last thoughts?
Follow us on social media. Like, subscribe, comment, follow, share, and we'll see you next week.